Oh, that looks
That's
like
the
a
right
better
road,
one.
yeah.
Oh,
How do I
perfect.
get some? Okay, that's Oh, I see all of that.
Right here.
Okay.
You said right now, these are food. I don't know. It's a good question. I guess you can raise your hand. It's because your camera's not on.
Oh, not in the meeting.
Mhm.
Okay. No. If I can grab a Diet Coke.
Yes.
Just in case they start. No, that's a
I think one thing like
okay.
Good morning, board members that are on the WebEx. We will get started in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you. Good morning.
I screwed up and did not look at my other calendar because I am on a Valley Metro Council meeting that will conflict with the battery storage meeting. did, and I was amazed at your progress. I'm so happy. Sounds good. Council business is closed for all of July. But I am busy this month.
Mr. Greenberg, you are not muted, just so you know.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, board members and staff and CEO and everyone. I hope you guys are having a eventful day and event. It's exciting day today because the weather is beautiful outside. And I'm always loving the good weather that we are having.
I know. I just look.
I will now do the official weather report. Pat, if you could please call the roll.
Good morning, everyone. City of Avondale, Councilmember Max White.
Present.
City of Buckeye, Councilmember Jermaine Berry.
Present.
City of Chandler, Councilmember Odie Harris.
Present.
City of El Mirage, Councilmember Monica Dorsey. Town of Fountain Hills, Councilmember Peggy McMahon. Town of Gilbert, Councilmember Kitty Buckland. City of Glendale, Vice Mayor Lauren Tomachoff.
Present.
City of Goodyear, Vice Mayor Wally Campbell. She is on the WebEx. Maricopa County Supervisor Steve Gallardo. City of Mesa, Councilmember Francisco Heredia.
Here.
City of Peoria, Councilmember John Edwards.
Here.
City of Phoenix, Councilmember Laura Pastor.
Here.
Town of Queen Creek, Councilmember Brian McClure. City of Scottsdale, Councilmember Mary Ann McAllen. City of Surprise, Councilmember Earl Greenberg.
Here.
City of Tempe, Councilmember Jennifer Adams. City of Tolleson, Vice Mayor Jimmy Davis.
Present.
Town of Wickenburg, Mayor B.G. Bratchert.
Present.
Town of Youngtown, Mayor Michael LaVault.
I'm here, Pat.
Thank you, Chair. We are ready to proceed.
All right, well, thank you so much. If a committee member would like to ask a question or make a comment during the meeting, please let me know. And then also, if you're online, please raise your hand so I can see your hand being lifted and we'll call on you as well. At this time, the public will be provided an opportunity to speak on non-agenda items or all action items for the joint RPTA and VMR meetings agendas up to 3 minutes. Pat, is there anyone here that would like to exercise their right to speak?
No, sir, not today.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we'll go to our Chief Executive Report given by Jessica Melvin-Miller, our CEO.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I do have a few updates for you this morning. I think Pat is going to run the slideshow. First, I must commemorate the opening of the South Central Extension and Downtown Hub Light Rail project this past Saturday. 5 days later, I am still brimming with joy and with gratitude for the staff at Valley Metro and City of Phoenix, our partners in construction, Kiewit, and our partners in design, AECOM and PGH Wong. This is an incredible project, and the celebration, I think, was appropriate for a project of this magnitude that was built for the community and with the community. Even on a hot Saturday in June, over 5,000 members of the community joined us for the celebration. It was truly wonderful. We kicked off with a lowrider parade that came from the Ed Pastor Transit Center at Broadway in Central. So it was a fitting welcome. We had members of the community, lowriders, we had horses. And then we began the ribbon cutting where we were joined by Region 9 Administrator from the Federal Transit Administration, Ray Tellis. Of course, Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego, U.S. Congressman Greg Stanton, Phoenix Councilmember Ana Hernandez, Phoenix Councilmember Keisha Hodge Washington, and the Honorable Verma Pastor and Francisco Pastor Rivera, who represented the work and the legacy of late Congressman Ed Pastor. We're so appreciative of the community leadership, the participation, the involvement, including members of our board. Thank you, Chair Harris, Councilmember Edwards, Councilmember McMahon, Councilmember McGowan, Mayor Bratcher for joining us at this wonderful event on Saturday. It was a packed house. It was a packed first ride. We had hundreds of people cramming on to that first train, that 3-car train traveling north from our new terminal station at Baseline Avenue. And one of the things I love most about the event, we had local performers, we had mariachis, we had dance crews, we had a native crew that welcomed us with a blessing of the land. We also welcomed the Color Guard from South Mountain High School and American Legion Post 41 Buffalo Soldiers. That day, we disseminated over 7,000 commemorative copper cards that are loaded with $4 each, and those reloadable cards, I hope, will serve as commemorative take-homes for the many community members who joined us. So overwhelming sentiment from the community, from the media. We have heard from so many of our partners since Saturday. A comment that was made by Pastor Aubrey Barnwell from South Phoenix. He said that Saturday's event was a bold statement about equity, access, and forward progress for our city, and I could not agree more. Thank you for those of us who joined us, and to the Valley Metro team, thank you for a job just incredibly well done. But we're not done there. Got a few more updates to share. We had local artists as well. And we conducted tours on Thursday evening of the 18 unique art pieces. Each one tells the story of the history and culture of South Central and downtown Phoenix, all of them beautiful and unique. So if you weren't able to join us Saturday, or if you were able to join us Saturday, I encourage you to take a ride on the South Central Extension. Get off at the stations, marvel at the artwork and the connections that we're making there with the communities, the residents, and the many small businesses who endured a very long period of construction. A couple of other items I want to update you on. I know, I have to admit, I spent a good chunk of the day on Sunday looking at some of the wonderful photos from the event on Saturday. But I want to shift gears away from light rail for just a moment and give you an update on paratransit performance, something that this board has been very concerned about, as has Valley Metro and city leadership. We're working with MTM, our transit operator, to reduce vacancy rates, and we have done so. And in fact, in the month of May, we were able to perform all of our scheduled trips, which is great progress. We have a goal of limiting the trips that transfer from MTM, our primary provider, to over providers of less than 5%. And in April, we were at 4.2%. And in May, I am pleased to share that 3.3% of trips left MTM and were actually performed by overflow. This is especially important in controlling costs. So in so doing, we've been able to reduce the cost by about $5 per trip from the month of March to April. I don't have May financials in just yet. Our on-time performance has improved. Our pickup on-time performance is now almost 90%, and our drop-off is at 94%. Well done to the transportation team, but I do want to commit, we are continuing to work hand in glove with MTM, the provider, MJM, who's the broker. Later this year, you're going to see us recommend to this board for approval introduction of new paratransit dispatch software that is only going to help us increase the efficiency of our paratransit operations. Next slide, please. On the rail side of things, for Valley Metro Rail, we have a conversation today that's focused on our runtime and collision reduction study, and important work aimed at identifying strategies that are going to allow us to stabilize and ultimately reduce runtime, we hope, and also reduce rail collisions. But in the meantime, we always focus on the low-hanging fruit first, that which we can do now. We've implemented a number of safety measures, including reduced speed zones for our operators in places where we've had high collisions. We have a marketing effort intended to bring awareness to the community in places where we have rail and bus collision hotspots. We have implemented operator retraining and training, and we've extended the time period for our initial operator retraining. But lately, we have worked with the city of Phoenix to improve our running time in downtown Phoenix. We know that we're getting tied up. There are a lot of traffic signals, and Phoenix has a lot going on in downtown all of the time. And while we're grateful for that, we do need to move trains through safely. So we've worked with City of Phoenix. The graph here shows you, those are actually months, not years on the x-axis. So you see in November 2024, that yellow line, we're running pretty late. Working with City Streets Department, we have been able to improve on-time performance with just a little bit of tweaks to our traffic signal. So this is just a taste of what we hope to lean into and do more of in the near future. Next slide, please. So with our on-time performance improvements, we have improved on-time performance by about 20%. That's incredible. When we build these beautiful alignments and extensions and we offer the service, the quality of the service is only as good as our reliability and our ability to execute the schedules that we publish. My kudos to the transportation team, Mike Powell, Chris Ramirez, Debbie Thacker, on working with the city of Phoenix on this effort. Next slide, please. I do want to provide an update on West Valley bus and paratransit operations. For many months, we have been in a procurement process. We sought to execute a contract that brought all West Valley on-street operations, that's local bus, primarily express bus in that market, paratransit, and eventually microtransit under one contract umbrella, hoping to achieve some economies of scale, especially where we have commuter bus, where we've got what we call split shift today, operators going out in the morning for trips, and then operators going out in the afternoon, and then paratransit, which occurs all day. We did receive a number of bids for this service. They all came in rather high. Before we requested best and final offers, we asked the contractors to go back again and sharpen their pencils and bring that cost down. When the best and final offers came in, the lowest of those four offers was still well over 10% above our current overall cost, and the cost per trip anticipated for paratransit was much higher than 10%. And so working together with member city staff who participated in this procurement process, we made the decision to cancel that procurement and instead continue operating our local and express bus service on our existing contract with National Express, which does end in 2029. I want to mention again, transportation staff has been working very closely with the vendor on service performance. I'm pleased to share that we are hitting all of our contract service performance milestones. Our paratransit operations would continue being operated in West Valley by MJM. Our primary facility for paratransit's in Southwest Gilbert, but there is a satellite paratransit facility in the city of Peoria. About 20% of our paratransit fleet is housed there, and it's from that point at which those trips are dispatched. So we'll continue operating under this model for now, but in the year or two ahead, I anticipate we will be having conversations about our service delivery models and the structure of our operating contract, seeking to identify ways to control costs for paratransit and fixed route service, as well as make the best use of our local and federal resources. We're also exploring an opportunity to have a West Valley facility that would be able to support all of these modes. Today, we do not have that in place. So this is a moment where we have tried to swing for the fences here, but the cost just came back, I think, more than our member communities can bear. Actually, next slide, please. Before we conclude, I want to thank our board chairs. This is the last meeting of our fiscal year 2025. We've had excellent leadership in the board this year from our chair, City of Chandler Council Member O.D. Harris. Chair Harris, we thank you for your service to the board. On Valley Metro Rail, Chair Heredia, who I believe has joined us online this morning. Chair Heredia, thank you for your service and leadership to our Valley Metro Rail Board. We have a gift for you, Chair Harris and Chair Heredia. I know we'd like to snap a photo before we conclude, and I've got just one more slide before we wrap. I want to make a note on schedule. We do not have a board cycle in the month of July. We will be back for our full board of directors meeting. Please note that it is Thursday, August 28th. This is a board meeting. This is also the time at which we'll have a study session on community engagement, which was requested for the board. I certainly look forward to that conversation, as I'm sure you do as well. And with that, I will conclude and thank you for your service on this board, to all board members, for what has been a very busy and I think successful fiscal year. Chair Harris, would you join me?
Ooh, look at this.
This is a crystal bus. I know it might be difficult for everyone to see. And Chair Heredia, we have a separate gift for you, sir.
Did we miss the cookie because we didn't get the box lunch?
I guess. You want my cookie?
I don't want your cookie. I should probably stay away from it.
You want to split it with me?
No, it's okay. I just want Laura to know we missed out on cookies because we got the salad.
I just want like a quarter of my cookie.
No, it's okay.
Wait, there's a mic on.
Well, that was very nice and kind and surprising. I appreciate it a lot. You know, this job, it takes on so many different changes and it's a very thankless job. So it does feel amazing when you are appreciated. So thank you, Jessica, and thank you to your team. It's been great serving as the chair of Valley Metro, and it's been a journey. And I'm glad to have begun it, and I'm glad to move on from it too. All right, so the next item is the consent agenda, which is presented for action. If there's not any questions or concerns, I'll request a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda for items 3A through 3C.
Chair, I do have a comment or a question about the minutes. I noticed the minutes reflected a few of us that were present at the May 22nd meeting, Councilmember Dorsey, myself. It appears that we were on the phone. I would just like to request that the minutes reflect that. And then also it was in the minutes, there's a reference to Vice Mayor Tommelchoff as Councilmember Tommelchoff. And I just wanted to ensure the minutes are reflected accurate. I double checked I looked at the recording again and we were there. So I just wanted to make sure those updates are made.
Here, I will take care of those changes.
All right.
I noticed it, but I didn't.
Will I have to, well, Michael, what should we do? Should I go with a motion with the amendments to be added to the motion?
It can still be, excuse me, on the consent. That's fine.
I can just move it forward and just say, I can make a new, you want me to make a new motion or is it okay the way it is?
Go to the consent agenda and get a second and vote on it, and it will include the minutes with
The
corrections.
updates with the corrections? Okay, everyone's okay with that? All right.
Did you make a motion? Or y'all
Um,
make it? I move item
Okay.
3 with the updated information in the minutes.
And Councilmember Peggy McMahon has seconded. Good. All right. Oh, all in favor? Yes, all in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any haters? No, I'm playing. All those opposed. All right. The ayes have it. We'll move on to item number 4. I will have Councilmember Max White introduce item number 4.
Thank you so much. I'll provide our Audit and Finance Subcommittee update from our meeting on Thursday, June 5th. We had the opportunity to spend some time during an executive session with our chief auditor. We received an update from our chief financial officer. We'll get full data. Actually, 3 months worth of data will be provided to us in the month of August. We had our rail operator fitness for duty. This audit was presented for approval. The objective of the audit was to determine whether Valley Metro has effective controls in place to ensure light rail vehicle operators are fit to perform required duties and comply with operator fitness for duty requirements and standards. The report contained 3 findings and 4 recommendations. We also reviewed the bus operator fitness for duty. This audit was also presented for approval. The audit assessed whether Valley Metro has effective controls in place to ensure bus drivers are fit to perform required duties and comply with operator fitness for duty requirements and standards. The audit is part of Valley Metro's fiscal year 2025 internal audit plan. This report contained 2 findings and 2 recommendations. The internal audit update provided by our chief auditor shared the amount of completed audits. We reviewed fitness for duty, internal safety and security audits, audits that are still in progress, vehicle disposal process, contract change orders, IT change management, IT patch management, construction management contracts, internal safety and security audits, peer. And we have, thank you so much to our chief auditor for requesting a Red Book peer audit for spring of 2026. Our next AFS meeting is scheduled for Thursday, August 7th at 12 p.m. And I would like to turn it back over to you, Chair, if there's any questions or concerns.
Does any of the committee members, board members have any questions or concern? All right, seeing none.
Thank you so much, Chair, for the opportunity to serve as your AFS Chair as well.
Can I make a comment?
Go ahead, Vice Chair Jennifer Adams.
Yes, I just want to commend Councilmember Max White for doing a great job leading the audit committee.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Max. Councilmember White, you have done an amazing job. The committee has moved forward. It's even stronger as each hand has changed. I know that at your helm and you watching over it, you've done such a good job of making sure things are moving forward and Valley Metro is staying fiscally strong. And we do appreciate your leadership in this role. So thank you so much for serving.
I would be remiss if I didn't give the honor to our Chief Auditor, Beckstrom, and our CFO, Mr. Kessler, and their entire staff and team for the hard work and their attention to detail. They are very strong in their acumen, and I am grateful for that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, and I'm really excited about it. That's what it's all about. With that being said, we'll move on to the next item, item number 5. If our CEO can present item number 5 for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. If I may, I'd like to actually introduce items 5, 6, and 7. Each are separate items that would require their own separate vote, but they are respectively for IT hardware and maintenance reauthorization, IT professional services reauthorization is 6, and 7 is software subscription and maintenance agreement reauthorizations. We have taken this approach for a few years now, where we bring to the board before the fiscal year begins, all of the IT items that are planned for that year. Each of these items does move through either a competitive procurement process or a piggyback on an existing available contract, such as a state contract, whichever vehicle is most economically advantageous to Valley Metro. Each of those items, for those that are for term periods, like professional services and software subscriptions, they do vary in term from 1 to 3 to 5 years, and we do pursue the term that is both most economically advantageous to Valley Metro and meets our current and anticipated business needs into the future. So I will invite to the podium Amedas Mosek, our Interim Director of Information Technology. Amedas may be a new face on this side of the podium for you. He is doing a fantastic job in his early days. This is his first full month as Interim Director of IT after Phil Osland, our prior Director of IT, moved with his family to Minnesota, I think the land of many lakes, just last month. So Amedas, would you walk us through item number 5, please?
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Thank you, Jessica, for the introduction and also the summary of how we do the IT procurement for hardware, software, and professional services. We're going to do IT hardware maintenance as first. We're requesting continued procurement of key hardware and support, including networking, security, and end-user devices like laptops and phones. Thanks to major upgrades completed this year, we're actually projecting a 25% cost reduction for fiscal year 2026. We recommend authorizing the CEO to proceed with not to exceed amount of $1,376,900. This is an item for action.
I'm going to ask you a question. Go back to the other slide.
Yes.
You said the cost for the projected decrease. What was the decrease from? Is it?
So the decrease was from end user devices because we did a major deployment of laptops and workstations when COVID hit to get everybody out. And so those laptops became obsolete. And so we started processing them out. And that was basically, we are finishing that. That's at the tail end. So that's the biggest part of the decrease.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
You can keep going.
Yeah. So I think we need an action on this.
So moved.
I'll second. Okay.
Okay.
We did it.
Okay, wait a minute.
Item 5.
Just one second. Item 5. Okay, there was a motion for item number 5, and then there was a second. Did we capture the motion in a second? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. All right, the ayes have it. Let's continue on to item number 6.
Thank you very much. Number 6, professional services for fiscal year 2026. We are requesting continued procurement of key hardware, this covers support like ADA audits, audiovisual maintenance for meeting rooms and such, managed print services, and technical consulting services. Costs are projected to rise 44%, mainly due to replacing aging systems and pricing tier increase with our managed service provider. We recommend proceeding with the not to exceed amount of $1,077,600, including the contingency. Are there any questions?
Is there any questions for item number 6? Can you read, so we're going to be authorizing not to exceed 900 professional services in an amount not to exceed 937,000 for the period of July 1st through 2025 through June 2026, and to establish a contingency of $140,600 that is included within the overall budget established for this purpose.
That is correct.
So is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Vice Chair and then Councilmember Edwards. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. All right, the ayes have it. Continue on to item number 7.
Thank you very much. Last but not least is the software subscriptions and maintenance agreements. We are requesting continued funding for 33 agency-wide software tools. The projected increase of 32% is driven by major tri-annual renewals, contract escalations, and some expanded Oracle functionality. And Oracle is what we call Core. It's our ERP. We recommend authorizing these renewals at a not to exceed amount of $5,996,300 over the next 3 years, including contingency.
Wait a minute. Say that number. You said 5,200,000. Are you combining?
Yes, the contingency as well as the, what we're asking for.
Okay. Michael, I need to just make sure that we have it corrected for the record. So for the first item, if there was the numbers combined, do we need to restate so I can restate the whole statement? Because I think he combined some of the numbers. Will that motion change because the numbers were combined? I can restate the question and restate the motion because I think that there could be a confusion on combined numbers versus having it separate out like the motion has it.
Point of order, Mr. Chair, on all 3, 5, 6, and 7, it says that the contingency is included with the overall budget established for the purpose.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about the combining of the actual numbers that's inside of the recommendation as a total sum of a number versus separated out as reading it per
I don't think it's any different.
per item number. So what I'm saying is like not the amount not to exceed 5 million. So for this one, well, let's say for the last one, 970, I read it out, 937,000 and the 140,600. But when it was given to us, he just added the numbers together and gave us one grand total.
Correct.
But on this right here, I think we need to separate out and say it separately, like, hey, this is 937,000 for this. The contingency fund is 140,600 for that. Versus saying it combined. So my question is, do we need to just redo the motion so that way the numbers are separated and it's clean so it matches
So
the recommendation?
The votes that we've taken already were correct. For this recommendation, the 5.214 is also the combined amount. And so that would be the number that we're bringing to the board, the recommendation. It's the contingency is already built in.
Mr.
Okay,
Chair,
yes.
so I'm just went back to item 6, and the total amount requested was 1,077,600.
Mhm.
But the motion was for, I understand your position, the motion was for the 937,000. That's what you're saying.
Right, exactly.
I don't know if that's an issue. That's how, if you look at this executive summary, the actual ask is for $1,077,600.
Michael, is it possible, just to kind of make it clean, I can just go back and read number 5 and just make sure it's stated that way? So that way, for the record, it's very clear. Just redo them all. What do you think? Just to kind of keep it clean, we could just redo them real quick.
He said they were fine.
I kind of feel uncomfortable a little bit.
Yeah.
They've been passed. There could be a motion to amend the budgetary amounts, and then we will correct them.
Okay, then what I'll do is request a motion to amend the budgetary amounts and then go back through items 5, 6, and 7 and do a full reading. And then request a motion and then a second and then a vote. We go from there. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, so let's finish up number 7, since we're there right now. Let's finish up number 7. I'm gonna read the motion for 7, and I'm gonna request a motion to amend the budgetary items for items 5 and 6, so that way I can read it completely out and we can take a vote to make sure it's clean.
Chair,
Yes.
I move that we authorize the chief executive officer to continue procuring necessary software subscriptions and maintenance agreements in an amount not to exceed $5,214,100 for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028, and to establish a contingency of $782,200, 15%, that is included within the overall budget established for this purpose.
Second.
I did vice chair already. I'll do Vice Mayor Altomachaw for the second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any of those opposed, say nay. All right, ayes have it. Seven has.
This is
passed.
number 6.
There-
That was
That was seven.
Yeah, and now that's number 6.
Right, right. What I'm gonna do now is I am going to request a motion to amend budgetary items for items 5 and 6. And then, so let me request a motion. Is there a motion to amend budgetary items for line 5 and line 6?
So moved.
Okay, there's been a
Second.
motion, second by Councilmember Pastor. All those in favor say aye.
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 Yeah. Any opposed, say nay. All right, the ayes have it. So I'm gonna go back to question number 5. I'm gonna read it out. So if someone wants to read out, they can.
Chair,
Go ahead.
I move that
For item number 5.
we authorize the chief executive officer to continue procuring necessary IT hardware and maintenance agreements in the amount not to exceed $1,197,300 for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and to establish a contingency of $179,600, 15%, that is included within the overall budget established for this purpose.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember, John Edwards seconds that motion. So, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. All right, the ayes have it. Let's go to item number 6. Well,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
we read
did we do 6? Okay,
We did 5, 6, we did
Okay.
5, 2.
all right, awesome. Thank you. All right.
Chair, I move we go to executive session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Board members
others-
that are currently on the open WebEx, please switch over to your confidential link that was sent to you earlier. Thank you.
So they acted like I was, because they see me, I feel like I was having like.
All right, let's reconvene. What a delightful executive session we just had.
Yay.
Now we will move to item number 9. Um,
No,
Close it?
Chair,
Oh,
go ahead.
I move to authorize the chief legal officer to execute a contract amendment to the chief executive officer's employment agreement.
second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. All right, the ayes have it. Let's move to item number 10, travel and expenditures. Any travel and expenditures updates from anyone? All right, moving on to item number 11, report on current events. Any suggested current events?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Just, 2 items, just as a reminder, of future agenda items. I know we had asked, it might have been 2 board meetings ago. One was for a study session on, to have a discussion about insourcing contracts where feasible. And then a reminder about seating a ad hoc committee to take a look at procurement. Just wanted to make sure those, we finished with the budget, so those will be in our work plan for next fiscal year. Thank you.
Okay, any more? All right, just wanted to make sure you guys know this Saturday, you can come to Chandler for our Juneteenth celebration. Actually, we have it on Friday. We got a Miss Juneteenth pageant that's going to be happening at the Chandler Center of the Arts at 6:00 p.m. There are some young, amazing teenagers who will be competing for the crown of Miss Juneteenth. This pageant winner will go on to be like the face for the city for our youth. And then the following day, they are full of all our Juneteenth events. They will help MC that. And then the city also plan specific things for Miss Juneteenth to come and be a part of it. It's a really big thing for the city of Chandler. And I know other neighboring communities, they also enjoying the festivities. So Miss Juneteenth from Chandler is gonna be everywhere. So make sure you guys invite. And then on Saturday, we have the Culture Music in the Park. It's an initiative that I started in the city of Chandler and Tempe copied. Well, there you go. But Culture Music in the Park is gonna be happening this Saturday from 7 to 9:30 in downtown Chandler. So go to Dr. AJ Park and have an amazing time. Bring your dancing shoes, bring your lawn chair, and bring a rag. And I guess I'll announce that Tempe is also doing some Juneteenth spectacular events. And they're gonna be doing theirs on, you know all your events, or should I? Oh, because I know all your events.
Look, and a lot going on too for Juneteenth, which we're very proud of. And
Yeah.
let's just have this come up.
Yeah, because your Saturday event is running parallel.
Yeah, so we're doing 11 a.m. Juneteenth celebration at Tempe History Museum. And that will go till 3 o'clock. And then I believe at night we have, and at night we're having a block party, which our block parties are rocking. That's at 5:30, that starts at Centerpoint Plaza. So I really encourage everyone to come. Probably when the main action will happen on Saturday night, it will be, thank you, Max. It will be starting like around 7 p.m.
Okay.
So, and we'll have dancing, we really know how to throw a party.
Yeah,
So,
I seen
please.
it. I already seen the advertising.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen it.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a good time and we're super excited for it. Thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely. On Friday as well, council member Asinas from Chandler, we're gonna be doing the pride flag raising in Chandler on Friday at 6 o'clock from 6 to 7. Then immediately following that will be at Mingle and Grace. They're gonna have a networking event. So a lot of different people. And I think Vice Mayor Jimmy Davis is gonna be there as well. So I'm gonna kick it over to
Yes, and I'm gonna be attending that event also on Friday night for Pride.
Okay, well, thank
Yep.
you so much.
I'm looking forward to
Welcome.
it.
Take a Valley Metro bus to Chandler. You can catch a bus to Chandler. All right, Councilmember White, and then Vice Mayor Jimmy online. Jimmy Davis.
Thank you so much. The city of Avondale will be hosting our annual Juneteenth celebration this Saturday as well from 6 to 9 p.m. at our Civic Center complex. So we want to invite you out. On behalf of Vice Mayor Wally Campbell, the city of Goodyear is going to host their spectacular Juneteenth event on Juneteenth, the holiday on June 19th, next Thursday. So that's going to be amazing. It's an evening event as well. You're not going to want to miss them. But getting back to Avondale on the 4th of July, we like to light up the skies from the Phoenix International Raceway. So please come out. You can have a good time. Just kick back with your family. We use that space where folks normally camp during NASCAR to just have a really good time. And then we will have fireworks ending our event by 9 p.m. on the 4th of July. So after you have a good time with your friends and family in the afternoon, drive over to Phoenix Raceway and spend the 4th of July in Avondale. Thank you so much, Chair.
Vice Mayor. Thank you, Councilmember White. Vice Mayor Jimmy Davis.
All right. Well, you know, this is a joyous time with Pride and Juneteenth coming up and all of the celebrations that are going on. But I think it's important that we remember the meaning behind these things, and they are protests, right? And it's standing up for those that are marginalized. So I challenge all of our cities to take a look at your non-discrimination ordinances and make sure that you have on the books protection for LGBTQIA plus communities or citizens, and maybe even look at a Crown Act ordinance. We do have both of those in Tolleson. They are wonderful additions to our non-discrimination ordinances. And also, you know, during these challenging, divisive times, I just challenge all of you to remember to lead with love and be open-minded and be willing to listen to one another. And I think that that is the best way that we can celebrate both Pride and Juneteenth this season. And again, happy Pride. And I hope that you all have joyous Juneteenth celebrations.
Thank you. Councilmember Peggy McMahon.
Thank you. 4th at the Fountain is Thursday, July 4th. We're asking everybody to come out, having a great time, put on your red, white, and blue, and join friends and neighbors at the Fountain Park to celebrate Independence Day. It's free. We're going to have a live concert beginning at 7:30 p.m. and the fireworks start about 9 o'clock, and it's always really fantastic. And the fountain's lit up red, white, and blue. And I mean, thousands of people come out, so it's really great.
Councilmember Pastor.
Thank you, Chair. You know, it's the city that always leads. Our Juneteenth event is at City Hall from 4 to 9. June 18th, it's the day before Juneteenth, and we will be having music, vendors, food, and many people enjoying the city. Then on July 3rd at the Milwaukee Brewers, we'll have a spectacular in Maryvale, 4th of July, our west side 4th of July. And then on July 4th at Steel Indian Park, which is in District 4, we are hosting 4th of July. It will begin, the park is open, but the fireworks begins at 7:30. So everybody's welcome. Thank you.
Wow, a lot of announcements. Love it. Well, any more items? All right, let's move. The next meeting for the joint board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, August 28, 2025, 11:15 a.m. All right, welcome to the Valley Metro RPTA meeting. We will convene. Do we need to do a roll call, Pat? All right, we will convene the meeting and welcome the members to the June meeting. The consent agenda is presented for approval. If there's any questions or concerns, I will request a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items for 1A and 1B.
Chair, I just want to make the same recommendations on the minutes for this agenda prior to moving to accept the consent agenda.
Okay. The amendments to make sure that they're duly noted. All right.
I move approval of the consent agenda with the amended minutes. to
I
be
second.
included.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, the ayes have it. Next item on the agenda, the election for the FY26 board officers and subcommittee members. At this time, you guys can see that the board have, well, the names that's nominated is RPTA Board Chair Councilmember Jennifer Adams for the city of Tempe, RPTA Board Vice Chair, Councilmember Max White for the city of Avondale, RPTA Board Treasurer, Councilmember Laura Pastor of the city of Phoenix, the Audit and Finance Subcommittee for a 2-year term for July 1st through July 1st through 2025, June 30th through 2027, Councilmember Max White of Avondale, Valley Metro RPTA and Valley Metro Rail Joint Board Subcommittee, July 1st through 2025, June 30th, 2026, Councilmember Max White, City of Avondale, and Vice Mayor Lauren Tomachaj from City of Glentown. Sorry, I'm sorry, I just slaughtered your name. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. This day is getting longer and longer, okay? This is my last speech.
I
He said he doubted. I'm going out with a bang. But with that being said, I'm gonna request a motion and a second to approve the FY 2026 board officers and subcommittee members.
I move approval of the slate as presented.
Councilmember John Edwards, motion, the second by who?
I made the
Vice Mayor.
I don't know,
I got-
maybe John made the
yeah,
motion too. I don't know,
motion.
it doesn't matter.
John and Vice Mayor. All right, is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor,
So deep.
all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. All right, the ayes have it. Well, congratulations to the new slate. Congratulations. I am honored to have served as the board chair. And it's been such a great journey serving with amazing staff that we have here at Valley Metro. And serving as you guys' chair, it has been really remarkable, a great journey. For me, I'm not going nowhere. I'm simply just moving my roles, okay? But I'm making room for new leadership, and that's always a good thing because there should be room for new leadership. And so with that being said, I am going to allow our new chair to share some words and whatever you want to do. And then I'm gonna let the others who have got new roles to say some words and
Okay, yes.
go from there.
Well, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
OD, you've done a great job and had really, through some difficult times, but we've made it and we have big shoes to fill. I know I do. And I'll do my best to fill those shoes and keep moving this organization forward in a positive direction. And I'm very confident that that's going to happen with the crew that we have. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. What about the new vice chair?
I humbly accept and need to make sure I win my election. Thank you so much, sir.
Laura, you got anything that you want to add? Councilmember?
I just want to thank you for being chair. It's been a great year of your chairmanship. We've had a great ride, and one last piece that we went through and have enjoyed sitting next to you and being part of it.
Well, with that being said, thank you all and thank you everyone. We'll move on to the next item, which is our next meeting, which is what? Oh, somebody, go ahead.
Yes, this is, I'm reporting on current events. I just wanted to share with the board that Avondale We Ride will be hitting over 100,000 passenger trips this fiscal year. Just wanted to thank Valley Metro for the support of that program. Also, we have started our heat relief water program on our We Ride service for residents who are traveling on microtransit this summer. Also need to just be mindful and acknowledge that We Ride will be sunsetting in Surprise as well. So thank you so much, Chair, for your service, and thank you again.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Jimmy Davis.
I just wanted to comment on a comment earlier. Someone said for them to ride the light rail to Chandler for the pride flag raising ceremony. And I just want to say I cannot wait for the day that I can ride the rail from Tolleson or somewhere, Avondale, Buckeye, somewhere in the West Valley to go to the East Valley for an event. So I'm looking forward to that day, and I hope that we can continue to work to make that happen.
Thou have said it. Vice Mayor Jimmy Davis, thank you so much. With that being said, is there any more announcements? All right, thank you. Thank you to everyone. The next board meeting is Thursday, August 28, 2025 at 11:15 a.m. Thank you.
Chair Heredia, we can proceed when you're ready.
Perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Want to convene the meeting and welcome members to the rail board meeting. First item on the agenda is our consent agenda presented for action. Any of the committee members have any items they want to remove or discuss? Pat, if you can help me.
Sure.
If folks are there.
There are no questions from the Valley Metro Rail Board.
All right, perfect. I request a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
I move item number 1.
All
I
right,
move item number 1.
I second.
perfect. We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? None. Item number 2 is light rail vehicle electrical repair contract amendment. I'll ask Jessica Medford-Miller to introduce this item.
Good afternoon, members of the VMR Board. Mr. Chair, thank you. We have an item before you this morning for purchase of an extension with Integrated Power Services LLC and Sherwood Electro Motion to provide light rail vehicle repairs on traction motors. This contract would extend through August 9th of 2027. Darren Curry, Chief Maintenance Officer, is here to answer any questions the board may have on this item.
I don't have any questions.
I think we lost, oh, there he is. Okay.
I'm back.
Chair,
Sorry, lost
there are
connection
no
there.
questions.
There are no questions.
No questions. All right, sounds good. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Not hearing none. Motion passes. Item number 3, purchase of the 3 light rail vehicle contract award. Jessica?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The item before you is a request to allow Valley Metro to enter into a contract with Siemens Mobility for the purchase of 3 S700 light rail vehicles. These would be the same articulated low floor light rail vehicles that we recently acquired through a contract to support the South Central Extension and Northwest Phase 2 extensions. We have found over time that our light rail running times have decreased or have increased because our speed has decreased. And as the system is expanded, we would like to increase our base fleet assumptions by 2. We must also replace a light rail vehicle that was damaged in a collision in 2021. We have worked with Siemens Mobility to identify a contract vehicle that would allow us to purchase this rather small LRV purchase. We're typically coming in and buying quantities much larger than 3. But Orange County Transit Authority, who plans to open their project in this fall, has options on an existing contract that expire at the end of this month for S700 low floor light rail vehicles. We have an opportunity to piggyback on that existing OCTA contract with Siemens and avail ourselves of the opportunity to purchase 3 light rail vehicles without beginning a new specification and competitive solicitation process. We've worked very closely with our 3-member rail cities, Phoenix, Tempe, and Mesa, to identify federal funding streams as well as local funding streams that would be the operating budget underrun for the current fiscal year for FY25 that would support the purchase of these LRVs. This is especially critical as we've just gone through a major expansion of our system, and at the same time, our original light rail vehicles are undergoing midlife overhauls. Those are our Kinky Shiro vehicles. So in order to sustain the level of service that we just implemented this past Saturday with 12-minute frequency on light rail and streetcar during peak periods to support the many special events that we do throughout the valley and to perform our state of good repair preventative maintenance, we would like to increase the fleet by this number. Are there any questions that I or Darren Curry, our Chief Maintenance Officer, may answer for the board?
Any questions? Jessica, the question, how many cars does this now put us in operation?
This puts us up to 76? 74. This puts us from a fleet requirement, Chair Heredia, of 72, though we're currently at 70 right now. It will push us up to 74. We have one remaining train on our current order that has yet to arrive from Siemens. One of those trains would be a replacement for that 2021 total, and then we're increasing our fleet size requirement by 2. Mr. Curry.
So our current fleet is sitting at 74. The 3 additional will move us up to 77.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Curry. We're sitting at 73, I think, minus the train that has yet to arrive.
74, and then the one that comes in, the 2 additional puts it 77.
Perfect. Any other questions, comments? All right, hearing none. Take a motion in a second.
Motion?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 4, rail collision reduction and travel time optimization study. Jessica?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, here to present the results of our rail collision and runtime optimization study. Our Scott Miller of HDR, he's joined by Jon Kaprowski of Y2K, thank you. It's been a long meeting of Y2K, who have been working with us to identify potential opportunities, causes for our collisions and reduced running time, and potential opportunities for speeding up our running time while preventing collisions on the light rail system. We've had a number of conversations with board and city staff as we've seen a critical spike in collisions in the year 2023. And over time, we've seen our runtime slow down. We've already worked very closely with our member cities to address the opportunities, or the low-hanging fruit, as I like to call it, to reduce collisions and runtime. And we've had successes, but we know that there is room for improvement. Mr. Miller, would you walk us through the work that has been done and provide the board with a little bit of foreshadowing on where we plan to go or hope to go in the future?
Yes, thank you, CEO Meffer Miller, and thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I want to make some point of clarification on Jon Kaprowski. So some of you may know her as a council member at the town of Gilbert, but she's also a professional engineer and owns her own firm in Arizona. And so her and her firm were very instrumental in helping us advance this project. So the purpose of this study was to evaluate potential causes of collisions involving light rail and streetcar. Also, what we looked at was looking at the relationship between light rail collisions and signal timing plans, because we knew going into it that there was some relationship there. We wanted to further study that. We did this with the end result of trying to identify how we can improve light rail operations through traffic signals through the corridor, as well as mobility operations for traffic and other modes within the corridor. And first and foremost, safety. So what brought us to this, as the CEO mentioned, is that from roughly 2016 to 2022, as you can see on the bar chart, light rail collisions within the corridor were steady, if not actually slightly declining. But what happened in 2023 was a significant increase in those collisions. So that prompted some immediate actions by Valley Metro staff. So a couple of things were done. There was enhanced training of operators to ensure that they're operating trains safely. And another element was reducing speeds in certain zones within the system. And you can see from 2023, those efforts that were put into place to 2024 light rail collisions and streetcar collisions did reduce. We do sort of, as you see the last chart of the bar there, you see that in 2025, it's about half a year's worth of data. Those collisions are starting to go up, but Valley Metro is working with all of your cities to help improve the situation. And we're going to talk about some of those recommendations that we've already talked about with city staff, and now we're presenting that information to you. I think it's really important to understand that the number one cause of collisions in this time period that you see here is left turns. These are vehicles turning left in front of trains at intersections. That accounts for more than 50% of all the collisions. And importantly is the number of pedestrian collisions. So that number may look low, but I think we all know that any incident with a pedestrian has the potential to be fairly severe. So how we addressed this study was there's a lot of intersections in the corridor, hundreds of intersections. But for us to focus on the areas where there is the most amount of collisions happening will enabled us to apply some recommendations in those areas to areas outside of those 5 segments. So we have one area in Mesa, an area in Tempe, and then 3 segments within the city of Phoenix. I will point out though that like I said, there are those segments, you can see some hot spots where there are collisions that aren't in one of the hotspot segments. We still have recommendations though for those areas. So one more slide on the data. I think this is telling. What this data is showing is that almost 60% of the collisions within the light rail system from 2016 to 2025 occurred in those 5 hotspot segments. Now, I want to kind of put a caveat on the numbers that you see here. When you look at the segment 5, which is in North Phoenix, it looks like there is, when you look on the round pie chart, looks like there's only 4% of the collisions there. And then likewise, when you look at downtown Mesa, only 6%. Well, that data, when you look at the data by the length of miles of those corridors, essentially in all 5 of these corridors that we looked, or segments that we looked at, the number of collisions per mile is really, really close range. So as part of this study, it was important for us to talk to all the city staff that are represented, where there's representative for light rail, and also do some of our own field investigations with our professional staff. And we focused these observations and discussions on 3 elements: signal timing, infrastructure, and light rail operations. So first off, on signal timing, one of the things that we noticed, and also was supported by staff, was that there are segments within the light rail corridor that prioritization is not activated, or even the signal timing between light rail and the signals isn't functioning correctly. And we know that there are 6 segments that need adjustment today. And I will say that prior, the CEO mentioned that City of Phoenix has been instrumental already in working with Valley Metro in adjusting signal timing such that we can get better on-time performance. What we're recommending is continue that effort and then do some more so that we can continue to get trains flowing better and operating more safely. Infrastructure. So I think one of the issues that we saw with infrastructure was train detection. So there are some locations within the corridor that aren't picking up the trains when they're going through the intersections or approaching an intersection. We also noted things like damaged guideway curves where vehicles are hitting the curb and also where paint's faded. Right? Some of these things sound like they're simple improvements, but they can actually make a big difference in guiding vehicles and pedestrians to be in safe places. And then lastly, light rail operations. So we looked at light rail operations from this perspective of how long were trains taken between stations, how long were trains dwelling at the station after they alighted passengers and boarded passengers. And we also looked at how train detection was working and how operators were driving up into that detector so they could get the signal to move. And we recognize that there's some inconsistency there, but we also know that through some training that Valley Metro has done since we have looked at these field operations, that some of that's already in place and moving forward in a better direction. I'll do one direction of light rail. We studied on-time performance throughout the system. And what this shows you is that westbound direction. So this is data from Gilbert Road all the way to the end of line at Metro Parkway. And the 3 color bands represent either on time, which is green, leaving the station early, which is pink, and then late, which is gold. I think the big takeaway from this is that as you see trains progressing from the east going west, that's right around downtown Phoenix. Now, this was mentioned earlier, right around downtown Phoenix is where on-time performance starts to slip. And I think it was mentioned earlier that there are a lot of intersections in downtown Phoenix. There's a lot happening. So it's actually not surprising that that's where we would have the potential on-time performance issues. But again, on-time performance has sharply picked up since this data was collected in late September through October of last year. So a couple of more slides about operations and capital benefits. So what is the advantage of increasing travel speed on light rail? There are several things. Valley Metro staff did an analysis. They looked at two different time saving scenarios. One is if we can reduce end-to-end travel time by 5%, what does that save? Well, that saves a full train out there all day long. And it also saves approximately $1.9 million in operating costs per year. So again, the second scenario is, what if we can save 10% of the travel time? Well, that results in 2 trains running all day long and a savings of $3.9 million per year. So it's fairly significant savings, and there's good value in that. There's also another element here is that in the future, I know that the previous agenda item, we talked about purchasing additional vehicles. Well, in the future, if we don't do something about addressing the on-time performance and reducing travel speed, we may have to buy more vehicles in the future. As you can see that from the last presentation, that the cost of a new light rail vehicle is in that range of $8 to $9 million per vehicle. So it can be substantial savings over the life of the system. I do want to make an especially important point. So we just talked about the benefits from a monetary perspective, but there are benefits to the system as a whole. So improving travel times and reliability enhances the overall ridership experience. It's shown to grow ridership in other regions, and it's really important that from a customer service perspective that we keep those trains moving and travel as fast as we can in a safe manner. It reduces operating and capital costs, as we just said, and it overall enhances the rider's experience with transit in general. From a safety perspective, so fewer collisions mean fewer delays. This isn't just delays for the light rail system, but it's delays for other transit services operating in the corridor or through the corridor, as well as motor vehicles. Also reduces our legal and financial exposure resulting from these incidences. And with some of the recommendations that you're going to see, it actually provides a safer multimodal corridor. So pedestrians and cyclists receive benefits from this as well. So our recommendations, I have some following slides. They're going to go into some pretty detailed recommendations. This is an overview slide in the recommendations. Yes.
We have a question.
I just want to point out, I think it's slide 62. Can we go back to that?
Yeah.
So with that reduction, like the 10% reduction, I just want to really drive home that it also is very sustainable to have that 10% reduction because of the environment and people getting out of their cars and getting on the trains. So thank you. You touched on it, but I just wanted to emphasize it. So thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Our recommendations are in 3 different categories: coordination, training, and updating. And the updating really has to do with infrastructure and signal timing. But coordination, one of our recommendations is that Valley Metro consider hiring a traffic signal engineer. And this position would be directly coordinating with traffic signal engineers, can I say that right? In all 3 jurisdictions to help support the continuous improvement and continuous monitoring of the performance of the system. And so when, instead of being reactive after something has already happened, we can be more proactive in making sure the trains flow through the system.
When you say hiring, are you saying creating a position, or are you saying hiring an expert or consultant to manage that?
We are recommending creating an in-house position that would work between the 3 different traffic signal groups within the cities, as well as operations, maintenance, and planning within Valley Metro.
If I may, Mr. Chair, Councilmember Pastor, so we could support traffic engineering through a contract. We could support it also through in-house resource. We currently don't do either on an ongoing basis, and that's why we've engaged HDR and Y2K to work with us in this space. Long-term though, we have found part of the secret sauce, if you will, of working together with our member city streets departments. It is those relationships, and it is that understanding of what needs to occur. Historically, we've worked between rail operations staff and individual traffic engineers. We're working at a higher level now with the city streets department. So it would be nice over time to have an engineer talking to engineer. I don't know how many signalized intersections, Scott, I don't know if you know this offhand, that we move through today with our expanded system into South Central. It's a great many. And so it's a need that unfortunately doesn't go away. It's not something that we've budgeted or contemplated. But I think in the future, having a conversation about how we might figure out, perhaps even within our existing resources to support that function, is a worthy conversation.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember. I'll just add that with the addition of the South Central Extension downtown up, that there's over 150 traffic signals that need coordination. Training is, we've already talked about training, but we also recognize that we've seen the benefits of the training, the enhanced training that Valley Metro is already doing, continuing that enhanced training and working with operations staff to identify issues as they may come up. And then lastly, update. Again, these are infrastructure items like train detection, traffic signal timing, which is an infrastructure. It's more of a application. And then also signage and then some select roadway and intersection improvements. So I got 4 slides that delve into very specific recommendations. We are showing some very specific locations just so you have an indication of where in your community this might apply. But these we have a longer list of locations where these do apply. So to affect collision reduction for reducing those left turn collisions in front of the train, we have seen in other communities receive benefits from introducing a different type of train approaching sign. So as you know, you drive down the corridor or you're on the corridor, you'll come to an intersection, trains approaching, you see that yellow box light up showing trains approaching. Well, some people don't know what that is. They don't know if that's just telling them there's a light rail line there or if there's a train approaching. What other cities have begun doing is basically alternating what's on the sign. So the train flashes, then the no left turn flashes, and it just continuously goes back and forth. So it does tell them the train is approaching, and it tells them why it's important the train's approaching. So don't make a left turn. Next are just reducing collisions in general. So there are a number of action items on here that we've identified. A lot of it has to do with refreshing and repairing roadway striping and other traffic control devices like curbs and signs. Here's a picture of oops, I went too far. A photo of an intersection where you can see the crosswalk striping has faded. I will note that, I mean, this is obviously a continuous update process that goes along the corridor. It just recently, Central Avenue north of the Deck Park has been repaved, restriped, and all the markings are perfectly clear there. So 2 more slides on recommendations. This last item recommendations is to reduce pedestrian and bicycle incidents. We've noticed that there's multiple different types of crosswalks, but the high visibility crosswalks with the stripes through them really do attract people's attention. There are some specific locations where we're recommending that. We're also recommending striping bike lanes near those intersections so that people can be more on the lookout for cyclists.
I have a comment. So have we talked to the city of Tempe about the bike lane on Terrace Road with green paint for better visibility?
Yes,
you've talked to staff.
Councilor, yes, we've shared these recommendations. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. And then to approve light rail and traffic operations, really it's looking at refining the signal timing plans and looking at ways to not only improve light rail operations, but also try to work together to improve overall operations for traffic and light rail. And I would want to make a comment here about that traffic signal timing. I think if people don't understand, it is a really complex system. It's more than just flipping a number in a piece of software or turning a switch out at the signal. It really takes complex logic to look at where the train's coming, where it's going, how long it will take to get there, and also mix in that is the traffic moving through that corridor as well. So this is just an example trying to show that as a train is moving through the system, it's not only looking at the next intersection, but it's looking at intersections downstream and upstream from it. So some implementation strategy and funding. So one of the things that we've identified is some of these recommendations do cost money. But the potential to have some savings from operations if we can improve our end-to-end travel time. There's savings from that can be reinvested into these recommendations. There's also opportunities to align the implementation of these recommendations with other capital investment program projects that each of the cities have. So in other words, taking advantage of those economies of scale, so we're not having separate projects. And lastly, to pursue grant opportunities that are relevant so that we can, some of those bigger ticket items, we can use that grant money to advance these ideas. Now, there are some immediate next step actions, and the CEO mentioned earlier there's some low-hanging fruit, and what you're seeing here are some of the low-hanging fruit items that can be done now. And so these include addressing some of those refresh and repair items. They also include enhanced operator travel time training. I mean, you've seen that as a theme because we know that it works. And also refining schedules. You saw a couple of cases, there are some places where we have some early departures. We can fix that by making schedule adjustments. And then lastly, understanding what and developing assessment standards for these recommendations so that as we apply these recommendations to other intersections that haven't been identified for needs, we understand the benefits of those for either safety or travel time savings. And thank you for the opportunity to present.
Hey, perfect. A quick question. I didn't see, is there any forecasting of potential ridership increase via also via revenue?
Little piece of hair.
So as Mr. Chairman, as part of this study, we did not incorporate a ridership or revenue increases into it.
Okay, but we anticipate if we increase these reduce wait times and increase performance, we would have, I think, with various different studies in the past, folks have indicated, if we're faster service, faster trains, the more likely they would use our system, right? So I think we would assume some level of increased ridership and potential revenue, right? But I know that's difficult to say based on as we work through this process, right? But I'll just highlight that. Jessica?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we certainly do expect to see an increase in ridership with reduced travel time. And that's true not just for rail, but for bus service as well. And this is something that we're considering at this moment as we move through our comprehensive operational analysis on the bus side. On the rail side, we have actually seen a little bit of a decrease in ridership as we've struggled with on-time performance and slower schedules. So we're seeing our consumers respond when their trip isn't fast enough and when their trip isn't operating as posted. I like to think of our schedule as our compact with our customer to get them from point A to point B in the published amount of time. So recovering that and getting back on schedule and reducing that travel time is essential to sustaining and growing ridership.
Yes.
May I ask a question? When you
ahead.
say that our ridership is down, by what percentage?
Year over year, and forgive me, council member, I'm not sure year over year, but I can tell you because I just reported this in the last month at our managers meetings this week, we dropped about 3%. We know we've had some disruption in light rail in particular in these recent months because we've had a lot of construction schedules and single track operations. I am delighted not only to open South Central Extension, but to cease those special operating schedules. So we are hopeful, usually it's fall when the weather cools and students come back to school that we see that ridership resurgence. And I do want to clarify, I'm speaking about light rail specifically. Meanwhile, on streetcar, we're enjoying very strong ridership.
Yes, I see that every day.
I'm sure you do.
Makes me happy.
Yeah, likewise.
So yes, and I just want to thank you for your presentation. It was excellent, so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have a question on
Go ahead.
recommendations, travel time, optimization. It says 19th Avenue segment. Update signal timing plans for consistency throughout the segment. Where are we today? And at what what's the timeline to get there?
So, thank you, council member. Where we are today is that in that segment that we looked at, and I want to actually mention, I don't know if I had stressed this enough, but all the staff from each city were so, they were great with their time. We had multiple meetings. They provide information in a timely manner, and we received signal timing plans for every single intersection in the corridor in those 5 hotspot segments. So in this particular segment, the issue that we noticed was that one of the factors that is used in signal timing plans is called cycle length. It's how long it takes all 4 cycles, or sometimes there's more 4 cycles, to go through red, green, yellow for all directions. So we noticed that in that segment that the cycle length is not consistent. There are a few intersections where it's, I don't want to get the numbers wrong, but there are a few intersections that have a higher cycle length. And when we have a differentiation in cycle length, what tends to happen is that both cars and trains wind up stopping more often.
Okay, so that's where we are today. What is the timeline to get to where the recommendations are? Is it
Thank
a
you.
year? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? Because I would like a timeline.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember.
Cost.
And that's going to take coordination with the city of Phoenix to develop those timelines. Like I mentioned earlier, the city staff have the recommendations, and the items that we shown on the screen are what we believe to be some of the higher priority items within the recommendations. And so those are the ones that we would recommend be addressed first.
Okay, so can I recommend that this presentation be presented at our Transportation Infrastructure Committee so that my other colleagues that sit on there understand the importance of this, and what then at that point, it would be at the City of Phoenix, and my colleagues and I can direct as to what the next steps should be. Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you, Councilmember Pastor. I was remiss in the introduction of this important item, not to mention that there has been strong collaboration with member city staff throughout this project. Our VMR board members might recall earlier in this work, through your leadership, we had meetings with city managers and streets department directors to share background information and the why, if you will. We're exploring this, and we've had great collaboration since then. What I'd like to do, in addition to coming to the Transportation Infrastructure Committee, is work with our team, our city colleagues, and our consultant partners to develop a high-level implementation timeline. I'm reluctant to provide specific dates at this stage since we don't control all of those items, but I think that we can map out a timeline together with them for us all to follow, as well as any budget considerations where expenditures are required. I like to have a roadmap for implementing the plan.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, this item was presented for information only.
Thank you.
Perfect. Item number 5, board elections. Up in the screen, we have the board officers here. Any request a motion and a second to approve the slate of board officers and subcommittee members as presented?
Motion.
Second.
Second. All right, perfect. Hearing a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any nays?
Vote for myself.
Ayes have it. All right, number 6, report on current events and future agenda items. Anything else that you all want to cover?
Yeah, just want to tell the board, thank you guys so much for the service. For many years, City of Chandler have sat on this board for almost nearly 20 years. And we will continue to support the rail board. But our time in our journey has now come to an end. As we will be working on the other side of Valley Metro, just not on the rail side moving forward. But truly, it's been a good journey, and I'm glad to have served in various leadership capacities. And over time, various of our leaders in the City of Chandler have served in various leadership roles on this same board in the past. And it's it's like, it's bittersweet, but you know, we appreciate all the work that we did together, and we'll still do great work together as we continue to expand and work together on future projects. But the city of Chandler is very, very proud to have served and kept this seat warm and all our great information and serving with some great people from around the state of Arizona. But thank you so much. And the light rail extension was absolutely amazing. It was a great show of what we can do together when we come together. And I'm glad that Chandler was able to be a part of that journey as well. And also I would just say that everybody, it's just been great. And I'm thankful to staff for doing such a great job and making sure things are right and things are on point. And we really appreciate Alexis. Good job. She had to pull us, come here, come there, stand here, stand there. So good job. And thank you, Hillary, for everyone. So again, thank you so much. And I'm going to be here. So just let me know. Thank you.
All right, any other comments? Councilmember Pastor?
We're just gonna miss Chandler, and now that makes it harder on us because we need to have a quorum.
You do.
So, 3, yeah.
You can't talk to each other at all.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Good point. Thank you, OD.
And I want to thank OD for his service on this committee. And you've done a great job and you'll be missed.
Thank you.
All right. But we're going to keep an eye on you anyway.
Perfect. No, thank you. I appreciate OD and City of Chandler and the previous members on the committee from Chandler. So we appreciate it. And also, I would just want to thank being the chair of the rail board here, my second time over my last several years now. So it's always a pleasure to serve on Valley Metro Committee. So I appreciate all the support. Great job, staff, and I look forward to keep on working with y'all.
Thank you, Chair Heredia.
Thank you, Chair Heredia. You know, we just cycle in, cycle out. There's only gonna be 3 of us now.
Yes, for sure.
Thank
For
you.
sure. Fun times. All right, the next board meeting, Thursday, August 28th. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.